Hello everyone, and in this video we're going to go over the magic lore that is Ryo's story. And of course this is the Ryo that is one of the characters in the later part of Digimon Tamers, but also appears sort of in the background of Digimon 02. I won't be going over his entire history and lore because I've covered it twice on the podcast before, so if you want to know more about Ryo and his story in the WonderSwan games, probably best to listen to those podcast episodes as well. But I'll just be going over what is released as Ryo's story in a UK Fox Kids magazine. So this was released in UK's WicKid magazine, and this is from issue number 43, which was released on September 28th, 2003. And I found this a little bit ago because I have seen it as being published in a few of the Digimon comics, which I've mentioned before on the channel and on Twitter in general. But this one was sent to me by various people on Twitter that this is Ryo's story as it was published in the Fox Kids WicKid magazine in the UK. So thankfully this website actually also has the scans, so I can show them off today. I don't actually have this issue of WicKid. I don't actually have any issue of WicKid because it's just a magazine that was out in the UK, and I do not live in the UK, I live in Australia. So in any case, I'll be going over the comic as it appears on this website, which it appeared in the WicKid magazine. I'll link this website in the description if you want to do some more reading, as there is a bit more about the script and the overall draft and the history of how this story went down. So let's go on. So we have here, this is Ryo's story, and it has Ryo as he appears in Digimon Tamers, and they're fighting a Megadramon with Cyberdramon. So they battle, Cyberdramon protects Ryo, and then Megadramon flies away, and Cyberdramon is unconscious. And during this time, Ryo remembers when he first met Cyberdramon, when he first met Digimon, and he says, "I remember how it all began. I don't come from the Earth people think I do, but from a different dimension. My first adventure with Digimon was with Agumon, when we teamed up to defeat the evil Millenniumon. And then we have Millenniumon here with Taichi's Agumon, and this is from the first WonderSwan game, when all of the bad guys from the previous season of Digimon, so Digimon Adventure, have returned because of Millenniumon, who is Chimeramon Jogrest with the Dark Master Machinedramon. As they both died, they kind of went back in time. So because all of the Chosen are kidnapped, Ryo has to be partnered with Taichi's Agumon and various other partners from the first season of Digimon. And then in the next game, he hangs out with a kid called Ken Ichijoji, who is of course Ken from 02. So we have, but like a bad smell, Millenniumon came back, and this time young Ken Ichijoji found ourselves, me and a young Ken Ichijoji found ourselves fighting side by side. Phew, we did it, Ken. He won't be troubling us again. And then we have the plot from next game. So, but Moon Millenniumon tricked me into opening a portal in time, sent me hurtling back to the ancient past of the digital world while he travelled to the future. And I read ahead. So he says, "Boy, was I wrong. He returned this time, digivolved to Millenniumon. By now I had been trained by Zulongmon to defend the digital world against his deadly power, and then he was sent back in time. In the past I met Monodramon, ENIAC, the world's first computer." And then he says, "There are many digital worlds and Earths. Young Ryo and Moon Millenniumon is desperate to conquer them all. ENIAC sent me back into the future to face Moon Millenniumon in his final digital form, Zed Millenniumon." And then we have Monodramon attacking Zed Millenniumon. "Ryo, the only way to defeat Zed Millenniumon is for me to force DNA digivolution between us. Together they became Cyberdramon. After that, Cyberdramon and I wound up on an alternate Earth, one where Digimon is simply a TV show and a card game. But part of Cyberdramon that is Zed Millenniumon makes him hard to control. That's why I had to bring him to the digital world we now live on. But it's no use, I can't find the strength to carry on any longer." And then Cyberdramon comes back. "It all happened in the Japanese Digimon video game series, and now you know the full story too." So we finally got the sort of story that we never got in the English release of the story. The games never really came out in English. Anode and Cathode Tamer did come out in Hong Kong, but the rest of the games never actually were released. So this is the first time that we get to sort of see Ryo's story, and it was only released in the UK in a Fox Kids magazine. So that's kind of a little bit sad that no one else got to see this. In fact, I remember when I first watched Zero Two as a kid, and I don't even remember Ryo being there. But he's very much in the background, and it's something you can go back and see. Ryo is definitely in the background in 2 shots in Zero Two, and it was never sort of explained. So it is nice that someone actually did get to explain what happened with Ryo and his stories, and they sum it up in just 4 pages, and that's several games worth of content, so that's pretty cool that they were able to do that. The website also has... Oh, actually, there's another comment. I'm sorry, I started skipping ahead, I thought we were done. So yes, let's go, let's fight Megadramon, it's payback time, and then he is able to defeat Megadramon. So yeah, there's also some concepts from the original draft of this comic, which has Ryo and Cyberdramon fighting against the Metal Tyrannomon. And then he remembers fighting Millenniumon, meeting Ken, being taken into the past by Mu Millenniumon, and then fighting Zed Millenniumon. And then he uses a card/card, and they're able to defeat Metal Tyrannomon. So more or less the same, but with Metal Tyrannomon instead. But it is nice that we finally got to actually know the story that Ryo has, that is actually from the adventure universe. And it wasn't as clear that that was, Taichi's Agumon. That is Taichi's Agumon. So it's kind of a nice little tie-in, but it's just kind of a shame that this never saw a larger release. I don't think it came out in the Australian one, and if it did, it wasn't an issue that I got. I've only ever seen up to issue 20 of the Australian Digimon Mag comic book. But in any case, I thought I'd show everyone, and again, I will link this in the description. If you have any cool facts about any release that was in any particular country, like any of these comics, let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions, also let me know in the comments. And I will see you on the next video. Bye!